My friends, what's up? I got more stuff for you. I hope all is well. What I'm going to do today is give you a bit of info that will help you optimize your time. And of course, I'm probably leaving a lot of things off this list because there are a lot of things that we do that we waste our time doing, But the first thing is arguing. Okay, so when we arguing, I got my point of view, you got your point of view. I say you're wrong, I'm right. You say I'm wrong and you're right. We're just strengthening our opinions. So we're getting nowhere. We're wasting a lot of energy and time, and we're just setting the table to be enemies over something that could be very frivolous. Something like sports. Who's the best football player? He's a better quarterback because he didn't have a team. And then he did this. No, you're wrong because and they had a great defense. It's a waste of time, my friend. What's much better, I mean, it's not a sexier option, but what's better is just to be like, okay, I see your point of view. This is why I like this particular quarterback. This is why I like this particular person, And to see things from another person's point of view, that is how you strengthen your mindset. That is how you grow as a student. Is to take a couple steps back and understand that the things that we claim to be right about is subjective. And that's all it really is, man. It's very insecure of a person to want to be right all the time. I know this. It's nothing but a battle of egos. It's nothing but a battle to strengthen the ego. Okay? So it's very important that we don't strengthen the ego, because the ego couldn't lay a finger on the spirit, on the spiritual aspect of things. So it's very imperative that we don't lay claim to I am right and you are wrong, trying to make ourselves feel superior. Even if we know in our heart of hearts that we were right about a particular thing that has nothing to do with opinions, there's no need in arguing. If you're truly comfortable with who you are and your presence and your viewpoints on things, there's no need to argue, because at the end of the day, they're not going to change your mind, especially in an argument. And you're not going to change their minds in the argument. The defenses are up, my friends. If you want to change somebody's perspective, you have to introduce it in a way that isn't threatening. Okay? So it's a waste of time. The next thing is dwelling on the past / worrying about the future. Okay? So, as we know, the past we can't have back, and the future isn't necessarily guaranteed. Okay? So first, let me just address the past. We don't have to tie ourselves to a negative past. We understand that it has happened. We acknowledge it, and then we resolve to move on. So how do we resolve to move on? We focus in this present moment, which is the solution for worrying about the future. You wake up in the morning with some fear, with some doubt. What do I do next? What does the day ahead of me hold? What does it behold? What's to come? And I'll tell you what's to come. What's to come is going to be the result of what you choose to do now, what you choose to fixate your mind on, what action you choose to take. So I've spoken on setting a tempo before, and so I'll speak on it now. When you wake up with fear of tomorrow, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is here. When you wake up with fear of what's to come later on in the day, or you wake up with that feeling of attachment to yesterday, what you do now to set the tempo is to resolve to make matters better than it was, so things can be better in the future. So if you wake up overwhelmed for whatever reason, this is what I do. I do wake up overwhelmed sometimes, but it's getting better. I will then fight the urge to hit the snooze button. I will get up, maybe take, in no particular order, but I usually will get up, meditate, journal, write down my frustrations, my problems, what I want to do today, my big goals, exercise, take cold showers, get your mind right, get some of that, get that inflammation out of your brain, it forces you to focus in the present moment in taking cold showers, okay? And of course all the other health benefits, I put out a video on that. So you do those things. You play chess, challenge your mind. You do some reading, learn more about the world, expand your fishbowl until it is a fishbowl no more. And that's how you prepare yourself for the future. That's how you become more courageous. It's hard to be courageous when you are flustered, when you don't know what to do because you aren't breaking the cycle. See, when you're a part of a cycle that leaves you in a position where you're feeling lost, unmotivated, uninspired, and just overall upset and beat down by what's to come and what was. When that's the cycle, it's really hard to break. So you have to do things that go against the grain. And what I'm telling you now is going to ensure that you do go against the grain in a way that doesn't necessarily feel like it's taken off a limb. Okay? So a waste of time is dwelling on the past and worrying about the future. So the next thing is worrying about everybody else's opinion. I've said this before, but I can't say it enough, is that you just cannot please the world. No matter who you are, it's always going to be somebody that has something bad to say about you, okay? It's better to give them something to talk about as opposed to trying to make yourself invisible, because you're only hurting yourself. Be bold, my friends. Be who you truly are. And obviously I do recommend optimization as far as growing from who you once were, because you don't have to be who you was, okay? You don't have to be the more negative version of you, the less productive version of you, the spiteful version of you, the shallow version of you. You don't have to be that anymore. Many people may still see you as who you once was, but you don't have to be that. They can see you however they see fit. It does not matter, man. Those are their lenses, not yours. Okay? So much better is to just focus your energy on how you can improve as a person. Okay? How you can improve as a father, as a lover, as a friend. And stick to your guns, the things that you are sold on. Stick to your craft, stick to your arts. Those are the things that help sustain you, not the opinions of others, okay? It's to live under a microscope and to want to perform according to what people would expect to see from you is not life. You are, in a sense, becoming a puppet of sorts. You're under the control of others. And most people the most opinionated people, who have the most expectations of others, are the most unhappy. They're unhappy, man. Unhappiest people in the world. So you gotta remember that. Okay? Please yourself. Okay? And in pleasing yourself and in pursuing your own ventures, others will be pleased. But still, you don't do this to please others. It's all about you. Obviously, you don't want to live for yourself completely. You want to give back and do well by others, but always check in with yourself. Fuck their opinions, man. This is your life. So the next thing is seeking external solutions for internal problems. It amazes me so often how we deal with all of this mental war, all of this calamity, and we try to solve the problem with external solutions, which is a problem in itself because it's masking the true problem. It's masking the true solutions. So if you have internal conflict and you try to solve it by force feeding it, not force feeding yourself, but just by eating, what do they call it, like comfort eating or what have you, or through sex, alcohol, weed, anything to mask the problem, it's always going to just prolong the inevitable hurt. Meanwhile, the hurt just kind of, if it's not on pause, if it's not on hold, it's building, and you're just prolonging, like I said, prolonging the inevitable hurt, the inevitable downfall. So it's much better to really sit down with yourself with some of the practices that I've already mentioned through meditation and journaling, that you sit down with yourself, strip yourself, you proverbially strip yourself of these masks and the things that you try to hide behind, and really see what the issue is and work to resolve these internal conflicts. That way, everything that you do externally is just a boost. It's you living out the human experience the way you were supposed to. I'm sorry, in my mind I'm trying to enunciate certain words that I've gotten wrong in the past. So you look at me, I'm focused on the past. But anyway, you seek internal solutions for internal problems. External problems deserve external solutions, but still, everything stems from the mind regardless, okay? So you want to, how do I put this? You want to have a great deal of stability to build on. You want to have a great deal of foundation. And it is quite hard to do that when you are avoiding it. And that's it. I mean, I could go on and on about that. I'll probably make a video on that topic because I see it so many times, and I've definitely fell victim to that. But being on the other side of it, it just shows me not only how far along I've come, but of how susceptible most of us are to it, because we aren't taught to look within. As far as the construction site, but we aren't taught to look within as far as in school and things like look within for our problems, and that's why I think that it's imperative that I speak on this as many times I've already spoken on it, but I think it's imperative that I do keep speaking on it and elaborate a little bit more in the future. But I definitely believe that it's a waste of time, and it can cut out a lot of trouble. It can save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, even some money. So the last thing, speaking of money, is trying to keep up with the Joneses. Okay? All the new iPhone coming out this year. I guess I gotta get that because the iPhone from last year is completely irrelevant, And I don't know exactly how or why, just on the fly off the top of the dome, of why this is such a thing that people really feel like they have to keep up with something. But it definitely deals. There's definitely some insecurity in there. The lack of feeling important, feeling like you're being left in the past, feeling like you're behind as everybody else is chasing this new thing. But most people, even the Joneses, they're unhappy, man. And I speak on unhappiness a lot, and it's pretty evident, and it's definitely relevant. I keep opening and closing the door, and people are popping up, but you got to be careful with things like that. And consumerism, it hasn't come out just yet. I'm speaking about this in my next video, but consumerism is a disease. It hasn't been listed as a disease yet, but it will be. You know, the feeling of I'm just never having enough. I need this, I need more, I need more, I need more. And I've spoken on how as humans we should constantly be growing and not put a limit on ourselves. But that has nothing to do with materialism. That has nothing to do with consumerism. Okay? I mean, after a while, you gotta be really sitting down with the possibility that, okay, this is too much. You know? And that you see a show like Hoarders, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, come on, this is obsessive. But it becomes obsessive far before the point of you need to be on a show like Hoarders, you know. But again, I don't want to speak too much on that because that's what my next video is going to be about. But it all comes down to gratitude, okay? Be happy with this car that you have, man. And with the money that you have saved up, if something happens to this car, you go get a new car, okay? You know, be happy with the phone that you have. It does exactly what it needs to do. And be satisfied with that, okay? Alright, so long as you don't have a goddamn flip phone or a Nokia or whatever, they got this goddamn little snake game on it, you should be just fine, man. Like, let everybody else spend their money on what's new. You know, on the new Jordans or whatever. I mean, you only got 2 pairs of feet. 2 pairs of feet. Because we're aliens now, we got 2 pairs of feet. But no, you only have 2 feet, man. You don't need 30 pairs of Jordans. Unless, of course, they don't depreciate, and then you can just resell them. You know, if that's your thing, if you resell them. But even still, you're kind of taking out a risk. You know, I mean, one goddamn fire flame and you know, all your shoes are gone. One break-in and your shoes are gone. You know, but besides that, you know, let everybody else have joy and, oh, I got this new this, I got this new that, and you ain't got that, and you. Hey, look, just be satisfied with what you have, man, for real, because there are a lot of people who don't have such a fortune, who don't have the option to buy more. Like, you know, even myself, man, when I look around at all the things I have, and I look at what people are oppressed about, and, you know, I want to get this, and I want to get the new this, and I want to, like, I'm a tough buy. It does not matter to me, man. And it never will, and that's a bit of freedom, and not trying to keep up with people. I only want to keep up with who I could be. Okay, I'm competing against my, you know, the old version of myself, and I'm competing against the greatest version of myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that should matter to you. I truly believe that's all that should matter to you. Now, a lot of advertisers wouldn't want me to tell you things like this, but I mean they're pretty much making money off of you feeling insecure. You know, I mean that's what it is. You got the iPhone from 2018. What is wrong with you? You know, are you a caveman? Buy the new 2019 version. It's 10% of an inch bigger. You know, a new color. You know, green. You never seen this one. You know, but it's essentially the same fucking phone. All right. And I ain't just trying to pick on Apple, but honestly, the reason why they are hurting, even though they're still getting good business, but the reason why they're hurting is because they aren't innovating anything. Okay? And it's like, take what you need, my friends. You know, don't rob yourself of future joy. Don't rob yourself of the funds that you have now. Don't rob yourself of the opportunity to be grateful by trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's all I'm saying. I was rambling. I'm a little bit all over the place. You know how I do. But I hope you got something out of this. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me the bad. Tell me the good. You know, offer many questions, man. And ask better questions. But thanks a lot. Take care.